first home. And with buying your new home comes a larger utility bill like never before seen. This often brings many homeowners to seek out ways they can conserve energy and be more energy efficient. Arizona, as you know, has never had its shortage of sunlight, and so I'm here to tell you ways in which we can utilize its energy. On average, Arizona receives over 300 sunny days per year, making it one of the best states to take part in using the sun's energy. Today, I'd like to go over how the types of solar energy we have available to us in Arizona and how this relates to the Arizona citizenship goal of the environment and how it has its impacts on it, and especially the impacts on the utility bill that usually comes to your home. For the last couple of years, I've experimented with building my own solar panel systems. I've also learned a lot about what solar can do for us. I've also spent a lot of time discussing solar energy systems with my brother-in-law, who happens to be an employee with the Solar City company. So they're an installation company that does a lot of, he's a salesman, and so he helps inform me on a lot of the systems that are available and stuff. I've also went and done research as well to inform myself of the other types of solar energy systems out there that I had not yet learned of. After finishing informing you today, you'll be able to know some common types of solar energy systems. You'll first come to know how these systems work. Second, how do these types of systems save money and energy? And third, what is the typical cost for an installation of one of these systems? Let's begin by looking at the first common type of solar energy. The first one I'd like to speak with you about today is solar hot water systems. To tell you how this works, I'd like to relate an experience to you. How many of you in the classroom, maybe not in Arizona, but at some point in your life, as a kid, you were running around during the summer day and you got really hot and you went to go drink out of the hose in your front yard. But when you turned on the hose, what happened? It was super hot, right? And you had to learn that you had to let the water run for quite a few minutes before it actually cooled down enough for you to drink it. Well, that doesn't save a lot of water like we heard before, and it doesn't do very good for all of us. But on the contrary, the solar hot water systems use that to their advantage. They have these panel systems that have lines of hoses running through them on the roof of your house, and it collects the heat from the sun, transferring it to the fluid like water or other type of fluid that circulates it into the hot water tank, so that your hot water tank doesn't have to keep heating the water inside. It uses the sunlight's energy to keep that going. So that saves a lot of energy, and it also saves a lot on your monthly bill. I found out from a source on Energy Star, which you can find on a lot of appliances. There's that little logo called Energy Star. That's a resource I pulled for how much you could actually save using one of these systems. It would be on average about 50 to 80% of reduction from your hot water tank system. A typical price for this system can range anywhere from $5,000 to even higher than that, which is very costly. But the return on it is actually a lot better than most other systems. Similarly, here's another type of a system I'd like to speak to you about. This one is also a roof installation system. It is a solar panel. If any of you have gone through the neighborhoods, you've seen probably some of your neighbors having these big panels installed on their roofs, taking up a majority of the space. These are designed to produce power to the home. How it works is that the sunlight hits those photovoltaic cells that are usually square lined up in a grid, and it activates the electrons in there, creating a flow of electricity. The electricity can then be turned into power that supplies enough power to run your computer, your dishwasher, your microwave, other small appliances such as those. How it saves money and energy, it can do a lot of for your budget with the utility bill. I've spoken to my brother-in-law, and he's shown me some figures that show a lot from just Solar City that it can save about up to 50% on your utility bill for your electric portion of your bill. For the pricing of this, though, it is actually a lot more expensive than most other types of solar energy that you can go and afford. A typical few panels on the roof can easily be around $10,000. For a larger unit, that number could quadruple very easily. So the type of the system that you use, this type of solar system is sometimes sometimes not as much recommended because it takes more investment to put into it. Next, we'll look at the different form of heating your home. How many of you have heard of an Arizona sunroof? So this is actually a type of solar energy system that people have been using for a long time, but it's been slowly phasing out. You probably have lived in a home that has a sunroom before in your lifetime. And what this is it's usually typically a room that's a little bit further away from the house on the outside of it. It's a large room sometimes with big windows all the way around the walls. That creates a lot more opportunity for sunlight to pass through the house into the floor and to collect the sunlight's heat. So that heat is then able to be circulated throughout the rest of the house. Now obviously this only works during the winter time. No one wants to be heating their house in the summertime. So this type of solar energy system is strictly seasonal, and its benefits are only during the winter. It's hard to put a price on what you would actually get benefit for the price on this system. So I couldn't really find any kind of savings you could look into when trying to invest into this. So to conclude, let's review. There are a variety of solar energy systems that help us utilize the sunlight here in Arizona. Solar panels, hot water, and passive heating systems are simple and effective ways to reduce your dependency on power companies, and also not to mention some large savings that can be saved from your monthly utility bills. Now that you've learned some ways to become more energy independent, I encourage you to keep this in mind when that time comes in your life to seek out ways to save more on your utility bills. And lastly, to conclude, the people in Arizona have utilized the sunlight in Arizona for crops, cattle, and outdoor activities, and even sunbathing. It's time we used it for its resourceful